All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for another list build. This time we're going to go over a skirmish list with Cassian, or a few skirmish lists, I should say, with Cassian, and kind of give everyone like a good overview of maybe a few things that he could go with that might be well that I've come up with in a skirmish format, and the, I guess, parameters were really, can this go up against maybe an ATST list or Magna Guard list or a Vader and dues. So I'm going to do my best with the amount of points that we can get in, trying to figure out all the different sorts of things. I'm just going to give a few different ones that I think would be beneficial, especially for the Rebels, at least what they can do for heavy melee oriented units. But we'll go ahead and get started. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, subscribe, and leave a comment of maybe lists that you like or commanders that you want to have covered. I'm going to go ahead and start a commander and operative kind of unit breakdown. So with their like unit cards or command cards, I should say, different upgrades, kind of how to use them in different ways, defensive, offensive, maybe what you want to do with them, and kind of go over that. And so if you have someone you want me to go over first or second, whenever I come out with something, I'm gonna kind of go over Vader first because I think, I'm an Empire player, so I definitely want to go over him and obviously show how great he is. But besides that, all right, so here we go. Cassian Andor, Covert Ops. So he can go ahead and infiltrate, and then he'll be an operative. You'll have to nominate somebody else to be a commander. But in skirmish, I don't know. He's got a good sniper rifle right now, and so we'll kind of keep him in the back. Danger sense 3, so if he's got 3 suppression, he can roll up to 3 additional defense dice when shot at. Loadout, so basically you can equip him with stuff that you think you're going to need him, and then maybe if someone comes with a different list that you think you need to do, you can kind of swap out a few of them at the moment, and maybe instead of going with the sniper, you go with the short range. And then marksman, so he can dice fix. You can spend an aim to improve an attack die result. And then tactical ones, so after you perform a standard move, you gain an aim, which I think is fantastic. So I kind of usually try to keep them on the move as well, just in case, because you can infiltrate, get him on a box, or get him somewhere, and then move and shoot and still have an aim. You just won't be able to be in his sniper config, but it's up to you. And I think he's going to have Pierce 1 with that as well. So, and then 2 red for melee, which is fantastic. You can maybe put tactical on him and he can have 3 red, but that's just kind of up to you how you're going to play him. If he's going to infiltrate and he's going to be close, maybe you do want to give him tenacity, and you do want to have him kind of in combat, and maybe you use K2, which I'll go over in a little bit, to help him eventually, which you might be able to take out someone fast with 3 red dice here and then 4 red dice on K2. So you're rolling 7 dice if you are able to get into base contact with someone, and you might be able to get through a few hits at least. So yeah, we're going to go with him. And just for now, we're going to go with K2, who's got calculate the odds. You can choose a friendly trooper unit range 1 and in line of sight, and it'll gain an aim, dodge, and suppression. And it's going to have teamwork with Cassian. So if you do use calculate the odds as a turn, because it's got that symbol right there, then you're going to be able to give Cassian, if you're at range 1 and in line of sight, an aim and a dodge and a suppression token, which will also in turn give K2 the same thing, except the suppression. When defending, you can cancel up to 1 hit result with armor 1, but sadly, you're also going to be subject to impact. And then he's going to detach with Cassian when he deploys. So within movement 1, I think, no, wait, within range 1, sorry, of him, and within height 1. And then incognito. So you can't be attacked by enemy units beyond range 1. So that's fantastic at the moment, especially in skirmish. It's going to not last very long, but you should be able to get close to melee. So that's a huge thing. And then maybe with the comms link, you might be able to give him the new emergency transponder, so you can get that aim after move and then hit. So it's just kind of up to you. And then we'll go ahead and give Cassian some upgrades. Now, I like Hunter because he doesn't need to move to get an aim. And with his sniper config and with dice fixing and being able to get an extra roll, and with usually tons of troopers like Dews or Vader or Magnus, Hunter's going to really come in handy, especially because he can dice fix. And that's why I'm going to go with Hunter. It's a little bit more expensive, but because his sniper config is cumbersome, so you can't move during the same action you're going to want to shoot that weapon. So you're going to have to stay still. So you're going to be only able to take an aim and fire, or fire and then dodge, but you can't move. So that's why Hunter, I feel like, is going to be great, because it'll give him an aim and then he can take an aim. So he'll have 2 aims when he can shoot, and he'll be able to definitely, it's Pierce 1, and you're probably going to be rolling some crits on that. So you can get rid of some armor. You can get through armor pretty easily with him. So that's why I think he's going to be fantastic to bring that config with him. You can do anything else, like you can do situational awareness or duck and cover. I usually do situational awareness because he's going to be getting dodges either from command cards or from K2, from a command card, I think, or 2. And then from K2, possibly with calculate the odds. So seize the initiative would actually help him, especially with danger sense. He's going to be able to cancel that hit or crits or whatever he needs to with as many dodges as he can, and then use the danger sense on top of that to cancel out some hits. So he can be pretty tanky. I think with situational awareness, we'll go ahead and give him that. We need a minimum of 2 core units. So I'm going to go ahead and give us 2 core units. And for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and give up the heavy, the Z6, because it's going to be range 1 to 3 without having to do any kind of exhausting. And he's cheaper than the range 1 to 4 critical 1. And this is possibly giving you a chance to at least get some more hits. You're not surging, so you're really, really just hoping for actual hits and crits. And we're going to do 2 of those, giving us 4 activations and still under 300 points. So we still have about 202 points to use. So this is where things can get interesting. We can, if you wanted to, you can do Tauntaun Riders. You can do 2 of them, and that'll give you basically 6 activations. You've got 2 naked Tauntauns. If you wanted, you could put Tenacity on them, because they will be getting shot at like crazy. And you have 496, you have 6 activations. You've got something that can possibly take care of those Dews, or at least tie up the dewbacks pretty easily. Cassian can go after either Vader because of high velocity on the config with the sniper. So basically he's going to get through being able to use dodges. K2 can not get hit and go straight up to Vader pretty much. He's going to get almost annihilated because he doesn't have immune to pierce or anything like that. So, and it's impact 3. So yeah, it's K2 is going to get slaughtered by Vader, but he can also do, at least tie them up for a bit, especially if, key positions is a thing or whatever. Now, this is just one way to do it. You don't really have any special forces, which Cassian really, really goes well with, unless you're basically going to just try to use Cassian and K2 the entire time. But for the most part, what I would do, especially with this at the moment, is maybe we can go with some Wookiee warriors with charge duelist. So when performing a melee, if you spend an aim, you gain Pierce 1. And then when defending against a melee, if you spend a dodge, you gain immune to pierce. So that's going to be great with Vader and or any Magna Guards. And then having it attached the battle shield, that's going to be pretty awesome in melee. It's just when you have it, you're going to have to reduce your maximum speed by 1, but you're going to gain armor 1. So again, impact is going to be pretty terrible against you. And then obviously Tenacity is a must on these guys. And the reason I always put Tenacity on multiple units that have wounds that you could be able to use this is because when you're down to just 1 Wookiee left, instead of just rolling 2 dice, you're rolling 3 dice. So instead of just rolling the 2 black, you're getting to roll 2 black and a red, at least if you have 1 more person left, which is, a big deal. And then that 1 more red dice, it always is going to be great, especially when you're already surging to hit and stuff. It's awesome. Now, you could also go with Tenacity and then up close and personal. That would also be pretty awesome. But for now, I think we'll just go with that. You could also go with offensive push. Offensive push is cheaper by 1 point. But at the moment, if we went with this, we would have 4 more points left. We still have only 6 activations. You've got the Wookiee Warriors to tie up those Magna Guards and or maybe dewbacks. Your K2 could possibly do some dewbacks and hold them up. Cassian still is going to go after Vader if that's the case, or he could go after the Magna Guards or the ATST again with the crits being able to dice fix. That would be good. With the Wookiee warriors, again, it's just melee oriented. This one particular is not necessarily armor friendly. If you wanted some more activations, you could get rid of both of these heavies and just give yourself another rebel trooper, just naked. And you've got 7 activations, which might either be on par with CIS or just maybe like 1 or 2 over, just in case they take Dooku or someone. So this is a better chance of maybe being able to unit your act your other person. And then the other way of kind of doing this is taking away those. And then if you really wanted some anti-armor stuff, you could just go with the ATRT, kind of go with the rotary blaster. And then for another one, maybe the laser cannon, which will be cheaper. Maybe give one of your guys a astromech, and then maybe these guys can have a Z6 and you've got enough for another one. So you've got 7 activations at 496. You've got 2 ATRTs with the rotary blaster. And even if you took that down and gave maybe one of them the ATRT laser cannon, you could use this one to really go after the ATSTs. You could really use this one to go after anyone with armor, because that'll be perfect. It's 10 points less. And then with those extra 10 points, you can even give K2 if you really wanted. The 5 white dice, range 1 to 2, pierce 1, and suppressive, and surging to crit. So that if you needed an extra little bit, that one would be perfect, because again, K2 is going to surge to crit. And then when you shoot this, it's not only going to surge to crit with 5 white, you're going to have pierce 1. So that's fantastic. Range 1 to 2. You're going to give up the incognito, but hey, I mean, it's suppressive as well. So that's another way of doing it. These are kind of good, not for super crazy melee, like the Wookiees would possibly be. So you're going to kind of struggle maybe up against a few of the Magna Guards, but any kind of AAT, ATST, this will kind of help a lot, get some crits through. And with ATRT surging to crit anyway, with 6 black dice surging to crit, 5 white or 5 black dice surging to crit, range 1 to 3, you might be able to get something through. So that's a good way of doing it. And then I'm also going to leave links for most of these. Okay, so that way everyone has a chance to kind of take any one of these K2 SO lists. And then I'm going to go ahead and take out K2. I want to go ahead and take out one of the laser or ATRTs, I should say. Give out the astromech and maybe take away one of those core units. And we have 4 activations. And like I said, so Cassian is really, really good with operatives. So maybe let's go with Luke Skywalker. He's going to be a ton. You're only getting 5 activations because you've only got 12 more points left to use. So honestly, you could go with Force Push, because he's got Master of the Force 1, so you're always going to be able to use Force Push, and that is drastically different and better than all the other units because they don't have that ability. Burst of Speed, so you can get in as fast as possible, would be good, but he's only got literally 2 more points left, and so unless you started taking away points from other people. So maybe let's take away a Z6 at the moment. Let's go ahead and kit out with Burst of Speed and Saber Throw, and then Tenacity. Again, that red dice is going to be huge, because when you roll, what is it? 2, 4, 6, 7 black, 7 black, surging to crit, again, pretty high. But that extra red, that's 8 dice. That's if you were to hit almost on all of them, that's taking out a whole droid unit for sure. So I think that's going to be perfect. You've still got 10 points left to do with whatever you wanted to. So honestly, probably take that bid, or if possible, maybe give yourself the prepared supplies on both of these guys. So that way with Nimble, you get that dodge and you can keep dodging. And then the reason I say Cassian is really, really, really good, and sorry this is such a long video, with operatives and commanders, besides the crack shot, my allies of the Force can give out dodges like crazy, so that's good. And you could also give it to Cassian and Luke, and then they can get those dodges, or if you really need to, the Rebel Troopers, and they've got Nimble, so they can keep that their whole turn. Last stand, here it is. So when Cassian issues an order to a commander and operative unit, so it'd be Cassian and Luke, basically, because you'd want to give it to an operative. They're going to gain Indomitable, so they can use the red dice to get rid of suppression, and then they're going to gain an aim, a dodge, or a suppression token for each wound they have, up to 3. So if Luke's got 2 wounds on him and you use this card, you're going to be able to get 2 dodges or an aim and a dodge. Same with Cassian. If he's got 2, 3 wounds, if they've got only up to 3, you're going to be able to give them up to 3 tokens. Okay. So I think that's going to be a perfect one. And then with volunteer mission, with the ability to recover, you could honestly, instead of burst of speed or saber throw, you could do something else like force reflexes to give himself that dodge, which I think would be also very, very helpful. But with as many command cards, that should hopefully give him that. You shouldn't have to take it. But again, you're not necessarily getting much with the 3-pip volunteer mission because you're not gaining a dodge or anything. So that's kind of tough. The I am a Jedi would be great. This one's going to be good because it's going to give Luke a dodge. So as many turns you can give Luke a free dodge without him having the force reflexes would be perfect. Okay. That's only still at 5 activations. The laser cannon is going to be good for any anti-armor. Your rebel troopers are just going to be trying to survive. Luke Skywalker is going to go after Vader and or Magnus. And then Cassian can also, with dice fixing, hopefully bypass all the dodges from any of the force users or anything like that. ATRT could really go well against a Doom because of the laser cannon and the armor 1 that the Dewback has. So you'd be able to impact 3 and be perfect. That's 5 activations. And then there's just one more that I would kind of go for if you wanted. And I would take away those 2, kind of get rid of your prepared supplies. Let's just go with a naked at the moment. So we have Cassian. He still has situational awareness and Hunter, which we could take away at any point in time. And at the moment, let's try to go with Sabine. So Sabine's going to rock with how fast she can move. I would go with up close and personal because she's got gunslinger. Give her some free dodges. This is the only time I would say don't do tenacity. And then I would also definitely give her the personal combat shield. And I always still give her the electric grappling line. The reason I still do that is even though it's still an action, I can choose an enemy trooper like the Magnus or kind of like or Vader or any kind of melee oriented user, a force user especially, is going to gain 2 immobilized tokens and 2 suppression tokens. So it's probably not going to be able to move at all. And it's going to gain 2 suppression tokens. So that's fantastic. And then maybe on that turn, what you do is if you're kind of getting close enough, you could, move in, do the electro grappling line, keep them there, throw out your 2 bombs, do a free speed 1 move, and then explode those bombs. And then they're not going to be able to even move next turn either. And so they're going to stay there, still continue getting shot with 2 suppression tokens. And then you let off those bombs, gaining another 2 more suppression tokens from being hit. 2 more suppression tokens because both of those bombs would hit him. That's 4 suppression tokens right there at once. And I mean, that's going to either keep them there or the chances of them just getting 1 action at least is kind of high. So I always take grappling line. The Darksaber you can take, especially if you want her in melee. She's going to be immune to Pierce in melee, and she's got Impact 1 and Pierce 1. So if you're going to have to go up against ATST or anything else with armor, this would be perfect. And then she's going to gain Dauntless. So then if she's suppressed, she's still going to be able to move. And she's going to be getting shot at, I feel like, a lot. So to give her those free 2, to make sure she gets 2 actions, especially a move and an attack, Dauntless with her, I think, is super fantastic. So I usually will take it just for that mere fact. And then honestly, with her, you got to take Clan Ren. And situational awareness is usually what I give them because 1, it's cheap, and 2, it keeps them alive a little bit longer because maybe you say they've got cover and then they've got 1 or 2 crits through only. Use the dodge that from retinue to go ahead and cancel 1 of those crits, and then you're only rolling 1 dice. So I think that's perfect. You can use offensive push, but maybe you're going to give them an aim already from retinue, and then you're going to take a dodge action later. You could go with tenacity, and each person's going to gain 2 black. You've only got 3 people in here, so it'd be 2, 4, 6. If you were in melee, it'd be 2, 4, 6, and then maybe a red, a 7. If you were to have everyone still alive, which would also be going up against the Magna Guards really, really, really well, or maybe up against those dewbacks, because they're only going to have 6 health and you're going to be rolling 7 dice. So maybe if they fail all of them, which is highly unlikely, at least that next turn, you could probably take them out. So you could go with situational awareness or up close and personal, because they're mostly a range 2. And so I think up close and personal will also be good. It's just a little bit more expensive than, the situational awareness. And they're not going to be, they're getting dodges. They're not going to be canceling crits or anything like that. So if crits still get through, you're kind of screwed. So it's up to you. I'm going to go with that just in case. And then you might as well go ahead and give them the jetpack rockets in case, again, there's an ATST or you want to get any kind of anti-armor stuff. That's going to be where it is. Now we've got still about 34 points left to use. We don't have quite enough for another Rebel Trooper. We've only got 5 activations. So if we really, really wanted to, we could get rid of Hunter. And as much as I really want to keep Hunter on there, we could have 6 activations with 3 naked Rebel Troopers, which isn't going to do too great, but at least you've got some extra activations in case. And then you've got 2 fast moving activations that can hopefully tie up some stuff that you really need. And Sabine, I feel like, is always great with her command cards. And with Cassian being able to recover Sabine, and then with her also having another card for her to recover, the combat shield's going to be coming back. The suppression's going to be coming off. So there's a lot that you can do with that. So honestly, as well, what I could do is I would go with 5 activations just to make sure that you have a medical droid, because those medical droids are a little bit more handy than you think. Maybe you do 2 of them. That leaves you with only 5 activations, but you still got you've got 4 wounds that you can heal. So you'll be able to bring back Clan Ren, or if, the 2 Rebel Troopers are on their own and then they're getting shot up, maybe you can bring that one of them back. It's just up to you. And I think that this is a pretty good list. This is just maybe it's the lower activation one, kind of just like Luke, but you've got some pretty fast moving and some pretty good moving ones. So breakthrough, if you did get breakthrough for the 500 points or skirmish, so objectives, you're going to have elimination. So that's not going to be bad, because you're going to be able to do far range, and then again, far range. And then you've got also, they're going to be great at close range at some point. And then he can also get better at close range by just changing his gun to the little pistol config. Pivotal positions wouldn't be that bad. Breach, again, that's the breakthrough. So breach would also be awesome, because if you can just use Cassian and the Rebel Troopers to go after everyone, and then Sabine and Clan Ren go after everyone, tie them up quickly, and then use the Rebel Troopers and or Cassian to get in as fast as possible. Maybe you infiltrate with Cassian behind something and then try to use the Rebel Troopers to get up to him and heal him, and then stop everyone else from kind of getting in as fast as you can, and then using Clan Ren or Sabine to get over that line. That's up to you. And then control, just kind of place an objective token in the center of the field. It's kind of like King of the Hill in a way. After each round, 2 and 4, each player gains victory tokens if they control the objectives. It's basically the intercept the transmissions in a way. But yeah, I think all of these lists would be pretty good. I'm going to leave a link to all of them. If maybe you liked the different ideas, I think there's 3 or 4 different lists I just covered. If you like the multiple lists covered in this video, go ahead and like the video. If you think you want me to cover a few less lists in my videos, just let me know. I can kind of go more in depth on them, or keep the videos shorter, so you're not having to kind of watch over and over and over again. And then be prepared for the new operative and commander breakdowns videos coming up, because I'm going to try to include a lot of stuff in those. So I'm going to try to include like the Team Relentless stuff along with the Tell Me the Odds, and so that people can get a good idea of what they're going to be doing and their strengths and weaknesses. So you know what to look out for when you're going over a list, and keeping it in mind so that you can create a list around that either character or just around the things that they're good at. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video soon. And if you've got any other lists that you want me to cover, go over, let me know. I've got a very good Shadow Collective list that I've kind of come up with. It's about 9 activations. I say good because it's not a great one, but it's got, Saxon, it's got 2 Mando units, it's got a bus, and then pikes. So I'll let you know how I set it up and kind of explain what I was trying to do with it. And if you guys got any other, recommendations or changes that you would want to make to it, go ahead and leave a comment below on that as well. But all right, guys, I will catch you in the next video. May the force be with you until next time.